So, hello students. Today we are going to discuss about affective stress, which is there in the second unit. This topic. So, first we will discuss what is total stress, what is pore water pressure, what is affective stress. So, total stress is denoted with the symbol sigma. So, it is the weight of the soil, right? Weight of the soil per unit area. So, students, we all know the general definition of stress is load per unit area. So, here also the weight of the soil per unit area, right? So, it is the weight of all the weight, it is a weight of all the overlying materials at a particular point per unit area. So as the definition is suggesting, unit will be kilonewtons per meter square. Pore water pressure. Pore water pressure is denoted with the letter small u. So it is the pressure exerted by the water which is there in the pores. So as you can see in this image, students, so here these are the soil grains, yellow colors soil grains, the grey color part is the water, right? So these water obviously exerts some pressure on the soil grains. That pressure is considered as pore water pressure. So here in this second image, if you can see, okay, so where total stress sigma, okay, and pore water pressure u. So if you can see, pore water pressure is exerted in all the directions, okay, in all the directions. So pore water pressure is also called as neutral stress. So what is effective stress? So it is the pore water pressure So effective stress is denoted with the symbol sigma dash and it is equal to the total stress minus pore water pressure. So total stress sigma minus pore water pressure u. So effective stress is the intergranular pressure. It transfers from grain to grain. So as you can see in the image, okay, so effective stress is present in this grain and it is transferred to the below particle sigma dash and like this, okay. So the pressure, the effective stress is transferred from grain to grain. Now we will discuss principle of effective stress. So effective stress sigma dash is equal to total stress sigma minus pore water pressure u. So this formula applies only to normal stresses and not to shear stresses. Okay. So the discussion is only about vertical stresses. Okay. So this is not applicable for shear stresses at all. Okay. So and this is also applies only for saturated soils. It controls the soil behavior. If the saturated soil mass is loaded, the load is transferred to the pore water. Okay. So with increase in effective stress, the strength increases. So students, why we have to study about effective stress means So the effective stress influences the engineering properties of soil. So we need to calculate this effective stress because it can affect the shear strength of the soil. Okay, so if shear strength is increasing means the effective stress is also more. So now we are going to calculate the effective stress, okay, by using this particular diagram. So in the diagram you can see layer 1 soil is having different properties and layer 2 soil is also having some other properties and it is having the depth D2. Okay, so the layer 1 soil is having the depth D1. So Z is the total depth. Okay, and Z is equal to D1 minus D2. Right, so we selected one particular point. Okay, this point. So we are calculating effective stress at this particular point. Say it as X. Okay, at X point we are going to calculate the effective stress. Okay, so now first you see the total stress. See, total stress is equal to unit weight into Z. Right? So we all know stress is represented with the two terms, okay, unit weight and the depth. Okay, so normally stress is equal to weight per unit area, right? So substitute weight per unit area with the term unit weight, then the equation will be simplified like this: unit weight into depth. Okay, it is after the simplification. Okay, so total stress is equal to unit weight into Z. It is a generalized formula. Okay, so it varies. Okay, it varies according to the properties of soil layers, right? So here in this case, gamma sag into Z. So at the point X we are calculating. So the point X is lying at the depth of Z. So it is unit weight into Z, and pore water pressure is equal to unit weight of water into depth Z. Okay. So as we said, the pore water pressure is the pressure exerted by the water, right? So we obviously we have to take unit weight of water here, right? The point is lying at the depth of Z. So it is Z. So now effective stress is equal to total stress minus pore water pressure, right? So it is gamma sag into Z minus gamma W into Z. And if you simplify the equation, we are taking Z2 out. So gamma sag minus gamma W. And gamma sag minus gamma W can be written as submerged unit weight, right? So submerged unit weight is represented with gamma dash and depth as it is. So it is the effective stress that is generated at the point X and at the depth of Z. So this is about effective stress principle. So this is the importance of effective stress. Okay, so why we have to study about effective stress? It controls the engineering property of soil. Compression and shear strength are dependent. Okay, as effective stress increases, the compression of soil occurs. Settlement occurs. With change in effective stress, the void ratio of soil changes. So these are the parameters that are dependent on the effective stress, right? One is shear strength, right? Another one is void ratio and settlement, compression, right? All these are dependent on effective stress. So we discussed about generalized formula of effective stress, right? So now we are taking some condition here, effect of water table. So how the effective stress varies if there is some water table in the soil layers, right? That we are considering for the study. Okay, so in this case, if you can see the students, water table is present at the top of soil, right? So this is like our observation plane, the light color, okay, the different color is showing the observation plane, right? So and this plane is existing at the depth of h1 and h2, right? And water table is present at the top of the ground surface. So the soil whichever is existing below the water table is saturated soil, as we all know, right? So here the condition is water table is at the top of soil surface. So total stress is equal to, so our point x is existing here now, right? So total stress is equal to, this is a saturated soil, right? So we are considering unit weight of saturated soil into H1 plus H2, right? And what is the pore water pressure? So pore water pressure is the pressure which is because of water, right? So pore water pressure is equal to gamma W into H1 plus H2, right? So now what is total stress? Effective stress. It is total stress minus pore water pressure. Gamma Sah into H1 plus H2 minus gamma W into H1 plus H2. So it will be turned out to be gamma dash, that is submerged unit weight, into H1 plus H2. So terms will get cancelled out, right? So the left out thing is gamma dash into H1 plus H2. So this is the effective stress that is generated, okay, on the observation plane, okay, at the depth of H1 and H2, right? So now, if you can see in this slide, water table is at the middle, right? At the middle of the two soil layers. Okay. So obviously there will be change in the effective stress, right? Because of the water table dropping down to the depth H1, right? So first we'll calculate the total stress. So if you can observe, students, here the unit weight of dry soil, right? Total, otherwise we can say it is bulk unit weight, right? So gamma into H1 plus, here the unit weight or the total stress varies. So it is this H2 depth, okay, is only for saturated soil, right? So now we are considering the unit weight to be gamma sach and depth H2. Saturated soil is in the depth of H2. So whenever we are calculating total stress, observe this, okay. So if there are two layers, two terms will be there, and unit weight will vary. If it is saturated soil, we take unit weight of saturated soil, right? So now pore water pressure. So pore water pressure, see for the layer 1, if we take, it is gamma W into H1, right? So here if you see the image, there is no water in the layer 1. So obviously pore water pressure in the layer 1 becomes 0, right? So there will be pore water pressure only in the layer 2. So that is gamma W into H2. This is generated because of water table, right? So now effective stress is equal to gamma H1 plus gamma Sach into H2 minus gamma W into H2. So the equation will turn to be gamma H1 bulk unit weight into H1 depth plus submerged unit weight into H2. Okay. So this is the effective stress that is generated when the water table is at the middle. So effect of water table when it falls to the observation plane, right, is the third condition. Water table came down, right, to the observation plane. So what happens to the total stress? What happens to the pore water pressure, right? So total stress is equal to unit weight gamma into H1 plus H2. There is no saturated soil, okay. So the two layers having two similar properties, so unit weight is similar. gamma into H1 plus H2. Okay, so pore water pressure becomes 0 because water table is not at all present even at the top and at the middle also. Water table is present at the bottom. So there is no water in these two layers. So pore water pressure becomes 0, right? So as pore water pressure is 0, effective stress is equal to the total stress, right? And it is equal to the bulk unit weight gamma into H1 plus H2. So effective stress varies, right, depending upon the water table position, right? So these are the problems, okay, on the effective stress concept. Okay, so students, if you can see the problem, okay, so 2 meters thick sand layer of density, okay, 1 unit weight is given, layer depth is 2, 4 meters thick saturated clay. Okay, here in the problem itself it is mentioned that saturated soil is having density 2T per meter cube and at the depth of 4 meters, right? And what it is asked, calculate the effective pressure at the center of clay layer if the water table is at the interface of the layer. So here the information is given about the water table position also. And draw the stress distribution diagrams. So in the question, okay, it was added, right? Draw stress distribution diagrams also. So I'll show you the video how to solve this problem, okay, and how to draw the stress distribution diagrams also, okay. So three problems are there, okay. Now we'll start the discussion about seepage pressure, students. Okay, so seepage pressure is denoted with the letter P, subscription with S, and it is plus or minus. Observe, plus or minus gamma W into H. So sometimes it may be plus, sometimes it may be minus. So we'll see when it will be plus and when it will be minus. So seepage direction is direction of flow. So if the flow direction is upward, then the seepage pressure direction is also upward. Okay. Due to seepage pressure, vertical effective pressure may be increased or decreased based upon direction of flow. So this seepage pressure affects the or influences the effective stress. Okay. If flow is upward, effective stress reduces. Okay. So we are studying about this seepage pressure again because of the change in the effective stress. Okay. So this seepage pressure is a pressure which is caused due to the flow through the soil. Okay. So stresses in soil due to the flow. Okay. So students, if you can see the image, okay, water table is present at the ground surface, right? And this layer 1 is having the depth of HW and layer 2 is having the depth of L, capital L, and we are going to calculate the stress at point X, okay, and it is lying at the depth of Z, okay. So if we try to write the equation for total stress, okay, total stress at the point X, okay. So total stress sigma is equal to gamma W into HW into gamma sat, right? Soil is saturated into Z, right? So this is like for layer 1 total stress is gamma W HW plus for layer 2 gamma sat into Z. So there are 2 layers. So 2 terms will be there in the total stress. Now pore water pressure. Pore water pressure is the pressure by the water, right? So it is unit weight of water into HW plus Z. Okay. So water table is present at the top. So effective stress will be equal to gamma dash into Z. So this is in the case of static condition. Okay. So in the case of when the flow is static, okay, then the effective stress is equal to gamma dash into Z. So if you see, the condition is changing here. Flow is in the upward direction. So seepage pressure is also in the upward direction. Okay. Seepage is also in the upward direction. But we said in the beginning that effective stress reduces. Okay. In the case of upward flow, the effective stress reduced. Okay. There is minus now. Okay. So we'll see how to write the equations now. Total stress, okay, total stress is equal to, as there are 2 layers of the soil, there will be 2 tons in the total stress, gamma W into HW plus gamma Sach into Z, right? So see here we are not taking L, observe this carefully, we are taking only Z vertical depth because it is asked only to calculate the effective stress at X, not at the bottom here. Okay, so we are considered only Z. If it is asked at the bottom, here means we can take L in that case. Okay, so pore water pressure is equal to gamma W into HW plus Z. Okay, and plus we need to add this also, right? Right? So that we are taking it to be IZ into gamma W. Okay. So for the downward flow condition, okay, total stress is equal to gamma W HW plus gamma Sach into Z. Pore water pressure gamma W into HW plus Z minus, so this is downward flow condition, right? So pore water pressure is reduced, okay, Iz into gamma W into some depth, right? I into Z it is. Okay. I is equal to H by L, right? So in the same way it is written. Vertical stress is equal to gamma dash into Z plus Iz into gamma W. So effective stress, okay, in the downward flow condition, okay, so pressure is added here, okay. Effective stress is increased, is added, okay. Critical, now we will discuss one more concept here, critical hydraulic gradient, okay. So this is the effective stress that is existing in the downward flow and the upward flow condition, right? So if you can see the slide, okay, what is the effective stress here? Gamma dash into Z minus Iz into gamma W. The same equation is taken here, okay. Effective stress in upward flow condition, substitute effective stress to be 0, okay. The effective stress is reduced to 0. So now gamma dash Z minus I into Z into gamma W is equal to 0. Gamma dash Z is equal to Iz into gamma W, and it can be written like this, right? Z get cancelled, so I is equal to gamma dash by gamma W. Gamma dash is the submerged unit weight, gamma W is the unit weight of water. So this is the hydraulic gradient equation. When the effective stress is reduced to 0, okay, that hydraulic gradient is called as critical hydraulic gradient. Okay. So now this is about hydraulic gradient. So remember this formula, I is equal to gamma dash minus gamma W. So this equation can be modified or can be written in terms of specific gravity and void ratio also. So now we will discuss about quicksand condition. Okay, so if you can see the image, students, if you can see the image, okay, so the man is going down into the sand. So the man is sinking into the sand, right? So why it is happening? So the sand is unable to bear the weight of a person, right? So the soil is in such poor condition that it is unable to bear the weight of a man. So this condition is called as quicksand condition. So the sand became quick, which means it has lost its strength. Okay. So that is one equation in our soil mechanics for the shear strength. Okay. So we will derive this equation in the 5th unit. Okay. So shear strength is equal to sigma dash, that is effective stress, into tan phi. Okay. Phi is the angle of internal friction. When the effective stress is normal stress, sigma dash is equal to 0. Effective stress is 0. And shear strength will become 0 obviously, right? Because phi is 90 degrees. It is normal stress. Phi is 90 degrees and effective stress is 0. So obviously shear strength will become 0. Okay. So shear strength is lost completely for the sand. So that condition is called as quicksand condition. And soil behaves like a liquid. If the critical hydraulic condition is exceeded, the soil particles move upwards and the soil surface appears to be boiling, means it becoming more liquid. When a natural soil becomes weak, it can't support the weight of a person or the animal. It can't bear any load also. So quicksand condition is like failure phenomena in the soil. Okay. So what is the change in the hydraulic gradient in the quicksand condition? So we discussed that. Okay, hydraulic gradient is equal to submerged unit weight by unit weight of water. So what is the change in this equation now? We'll see that. The hydraulic gradient in this condition is called as a critical hydraulic gradient. Okay, and this critical hydraulic gradient is 1. Okay, it becomes is equal to 1. When the IC is equal to 1, that condition is called as quicksand condition. Okay, there is one more phenomena like quicksand condition. Okay, that is piping. Okay, so in the factors of safety, F is equal to critical hydraulic gradient IC by exit gradient IE. So this exit gradient can be calculated from the flow net diagram, right? We discussed how to calculate exit gradient. And we have seen the formula for critical gradient in the before slide, right? If exit gradient is more than the critical gradient, okay, so erosion of soil particles takes place towards the upstream direction. So the water that is present in the pores, that will try to exert force on the soil grains, and the soil becomes very loose, right? So when it is loose, then the particles will try to move. There will be chance for movement, obviously, if the soil is loose. So this is about effective stress concept, and we have seen the effective stress varies, okay, when there is water table. If the water table is at the top, different effective stress. Water table is at the bottom, different effective stress exhibits, right, exist. And the effective stress is also varies with respect to the seepage pressure. We have seen three conditions, and in the case of upward flow, it is reduced. Seepage effective stress is reduced, right? And we have seen what is quicksand condition, what is piping, and we discussed about hydraulic gradient. Okay.